Hey there, it's Miss Gretta here with the Literacy Lab, and I'm here to continue reading to you True Blue. Today we're going to read chapters 3 and 4. Okay, so let's kind of go over what we've already read. So in chapter 1, we learned our characters, right? Blue, JD, Molasses, Dad, and Walter. In chapter 2, we learned about these bad people called poachers who were in the woods. Blue ran away, and nobody can find Blue. So let's continue reading and see if we can find where Blue went, okay? Because remember, Blue's got a good sniffer, so there must be a reason Blue ran off, yeah? Okay, but before we begin, I want to go over some words that are going to show up in this chapter. First one is discouraged. Discouraged means to lose or lack belief in oneself. You can become discouraged if you're doing something and it's not quite going to how you want it to go, or if you're not able to do something. Like, there's a great example of this in the book. We'll discuss it when we come across it. So keep this word in mind, discouraged. The next word is stubble. Now stubble is short, stiff hairs. And stubble can be found on a man's beard. Have you ever felt when like an older man's beard kind of comes in? It's really scratchy. That's called their stubble. Okay, so let's get to reading chapter 3. And remember, there's 2 chapters we're going to read today. So chapter 3 and chapter 4. Let's start with chapter 3. Chapter 3. The next morning, Blue still had not come home. Fog and light rain drifted through the trees. Before Mom and Dad were even up, I got dressed. I decided I was going to find Blue. I walked to the edge of the woods and searched out all of Blue's favorite places. I called his name again and again. The sound of my voice seemed to travel only a few feet. Then it hit the wall of fog. I wanted to look further, but I knew Mom and Dad wouldn't like me going into the woods with poachers around. Finally, I walked home, sad and discouraged. See, JD got discouraged or upset because she couldn't quite find Blue yet, right? Later that morning, Walter stopped by. I heard shooting again last night, he told Dad. I'm worried. I'm sure poachers have been up on the hill. I heard them too, Dad said. Walter went on. This is getting pretty serious. Those stupid fools were on my land last year. They built a fire and nearly burned down my woods. Walter scratched his beard stubble on his chin. By the way, you haven't seen Molasses, have you? He wandered off yesterday evening and he never came home. He's old, likes to be by himself sometimes, but it's just not like Molasses to stay out all night. Blue never came home either, I said. He's never done that. Uh-oh, Blue and Molasses are gone now. I was going to look for him later on, Dad said. I wish this fog would lift off some. I didn't tell him I'd already been out looking for Blue. Well, keep an eye out for Molasses when you go. I'm going to check out my side of the swamp, Walter told us. And don't you worry, JD, Walter started the motor. Them dogs are smart. They'll stay out of trouble. After Walter left, I tried to keep busy. I watched Dad clean his rifle. I tried to work on a story I was writing for school. Nothing worked. I knew something was wrong. By late afternoon, I couldn't stand it any longer. Poachers or not, I had to go look for Blue. Okay, let's take a break and let's think about chapter 3. So now we've learned that not only is Blue missing, but Molasses is missing. JD tried to go find Blue, but she got very discouraged or upset when she couldn't find him, right? Yeah, I think Walter's kind of discouraged too because Molasses isn't back either. But let's read chapter 4 to find out, okay? But before we start chapter 4, we're going to go over a couple vocab words for that chapter too. First one is prickled. And prickled means tingly or mild chilling sensation on the skin. Have you ever been outside and you can feel when it's cold out, your skin kind of prickles with the chill in the air? Or if you feel something isn't quite right, you can feel the hairs on your neck prickle up? Yeah. The next word is bursting. Bursting is to break suddenly or violently apart. Have you ever popped a balloon? A balloon bursts. That's bursting. And the last word is scolded. Scolded means to discipline or exclaim for a wrongdoing. Have you scolded somebody because they did something wrong? It's kind of like yelling. Yeah. JD, have you ever scolded an animal? JD scolds Blue for a reason. We'll find out. What do you think it would be? We'll have to keep reading. Okay. Chapter 4. The woods were very still. It was almost like they were waiting for something to happen. Even the birds were quiet. Now and then I heard a dead branch fall. As I got near the other side of the swamp, I thought I heard a sound, but I never got to find out what it was. Right then I tripped on a rotten log. Down I fell into the mud. After that, I walked carefully. The fog seemed to be thinning. It was hugging the ground more. I crossed over into Walter's woods. The no trespassing signs had been torn off the trees. They were lying on the ground. There was a small ring of ashes by the stream. Poachers had been camping here. You see the campfire? And can you see the no trespassing signs down there? Yeah, the poachers were on Walter's land, weren't they? That's not good. I sat on a log to rest. Without warning, the hair on the back of my neck prickled. I got this funny feeling, sort of like Blue was thinking of me, so I started whistling for him. Then I heard a loud crashing through the woods. Suddenly, there he was. Blue came bursting through the bushes, barking. "Blue!" I cried. I threw my arms around him. We rolled on the ground, just loving each other to pieces. I was so scared. I scolded him. Scolded. Think she yelled at him? She wasn't very happy with what he did. Then I saw the side of his coat. It was really dark and sticky. There was dried blood in his fur. I looked for a cut. I couldn't find one. Blue was acting so happy. Maybe he'd just been rolling in something dead, which dogs like to do. I turned to walk home, slapping my leg for Blue to follow. Instead, he just sat down. "Come on, Blue," I called. "Let's go home." Blue didn't move. He put his front paws out and lay down. I went back to grab him by his collar. He pulled away and ran off into the woods. "Blue!" I yelled. What was going on here? Oh no, okay. So Blue came back. That's super exciting, isn't it? Yeah, that's excellent. However, Blue came back with blood on him, didn't he? Yeah. Do you think he just rolled around in something? He seemed pretty happy. And I think JD is right. I don't think Blue's hurt. Do you? Yeah. Do you think she was right to scold him for running off? Yeah, me too. So that's what we have learned, is that JD has found Blue, which is excellent, but molasses is still missing. And we went over a couple vocab words. Okay? So, and we learned that molasses is missing. First word is discouraged. This was in chapter 3. JD got discouraged. Stubble. Walter scratched his stubble, or his beard hair. In chapter 4, we learned prickled, like the hair prickled on JD's neck when Blue was about to come bursting through the woods. Bursting. That's how Blue entered into where JD was at. That's pretty exciting that Blue came back though, right? And scolded. JD scolded Blue for running off. Okay, I'll see you next time, and we will continue our story of True Blue. Okay? Alrighty, have a great day.